Call the meeting to order. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Auditor, would you please give us a roll call of the members present?
Councilmember Wetton.
I'm here.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Justin.
Here.
Councilmember Larson.
Here.
Councilmember Paparad.
Here.
Councilmember Rivas.
Here.
And Councilmember Smith.
Here.
7 votes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. We've got a bunch: January 15th, 19, January 29th, 19, February 26th, 19, minutes from February 11th, 2019, budget minutes for September 24th, 18, and October 30th, 18. What's your pleasure with these?
Motion to approve.
Second. There is a motion and a second. Any discussion? And we're all caught up on the minutes, right?
Yes.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Make sure we get the executive session, obviously. Make sure we get those loaded.
Okay.
First reading, please.
Notice to taxpayers of proposed additional appropriations. Notice is hereby given the taxpayers of Porter County, Indiana, that the proper legal officers of Porter County will meet in the Porter County Government Administration Building located at 155 Indiana Avenue, Valparaiso, on April 23rd, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. to consider the following additional appropriations affecting county budgets for the year 2019 and to transact any further business which might come before the council. General Fund, Sheriff, Fund 1,000, returning fugitive, $6,534.50. Sheriff, 3610, maintenance agreement, $3,400. Prosecutor, 3250, returning fugitive, a decrease of $6,534.50. Parks, 4540, other equipment, $22,365. Parks Operating Fund, 1179, contractual attorney, $3,307.50. County user fee, pre-trial fund, 2503. Salaries, $28,343. FICA, $2,169. Medical life insurance, $13,035. PERF, $3,175. County user fee, Sheriff Fund, 2505. Salary, $7,511. FICA, $575. PERF, $842. Veterans Donation Fund, Fund 4112, Maintenance Agreement, $390. MOH Management Fund, Fund 4915, Advertising, $33,400. Parks, Sunsdale Farm Education Center, Fund 4919, Contractual, $216,041. Porter County Sheriff Highway Interdiction, $4925. Motor Vehicles, $77,000. 4540, other equipment, $31,000. Taxpayers appearing at such meetings shall have a right to vote thereon. The additional appropriations, if finally made, will be referred to the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance, which will make a written determination as to the sufficiency of funds to support the appropriations made within 15 days of receipt of a certified copy of the action taken. Signed, Vicki Urbanek, Auditor of Porter County, published April 12, 2019.
Thank you, Vicki. Okay, we're going to jump out of order real quick, because I know, Scott, you got to be somewhere. So we're going to do the Memorial Opera House real quick, if you guys don't mind. Just give me the screen time, Memorial Opera.
Good evening. Thank you.
So we've got in front of us from MOH, Managed Fund, additional $38,120.04 to advertising. This is the money that we got allocated from the Indiana Dunes Tourism.
Correct.
I'll make the motion.
Second. We have a motion and a couple of seconds. Any discussion? How's the show going?
Really, really well. We open up Friday night, so we are very, very excited. You get 6 men in heels and dresses, and all sorts of magic happens.
No way am I going to...
You missed your chance.
Went inside out of that, didn't you?
You wouldn't take my call.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Justin.
Yes.
Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Sims.
Yes.
And Councilmember Wett.
Yes.
7-0.
one way to start off our show.
That's coming.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening. You too now.
Hey, Mike,
Okay, back to the agenda, election board.
I can't hear you. Hey, Mike.
So in front of us, we've got a transfer of $5,000 from office supplies to legal. We've got a transfer of $15,000 from food and groceries to contractual. And then we've got a series of 144 requests.
So I make a motion on the 5,000. I'd like to do them individually a little bit.
Sure, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a
For
second?
the 5,000.
Second. So motion and a second on the transfer of $5,000 only. Any discussion about that? This is to pay 18 general election legal notices and provide balance to pay 19 primary expenses. No discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You didn't give me a chance.
Well, you can pick it up on the next one.
Okay.
Transfer 15,000. Did you want to do that one on its own, or?
Motion for the 15,000.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes. The 18 invoices, so these were invoices that obviously weren't paid or nothing was carried over to pay them. This is money that you're now,
Yeah, we've had over $72,000 worth of expenses from the 2018 elections.
nothing was encumbered.
No.
So you're obviously going to be,
When did the invoices come in?
They started, in 2018 is when they started coming in.
We didn't encumber the money, Vicki?
Pardon me?
We didn't
Why
encumber the
don't you
money?
kind of just generalize what happened
Yeah.
from the old clerk and the invoices from the election 18? Why now are we addressing in April?
It's up to the individual departments to encumber. We have no idea what outstanding bills any individual department.
Let's move this along. So when did you, so Bob had asked when the invoices came in, when were you made aware of them? This year, right?
Yes,
Wait a minute.
Jessica and I talked about it. We don't get the invoices, the department.
So the fire clerk didn't move them along, that we're told?
she stopped doing it, okay, job,
So they've been sitting,
way early.
this is January, this is the fourth month?
This is April. We call it April.
I know, but this is the fourth month of the year, and you're just now coming across them, or were they there and you're just now getting in the process?
We started making the process, and then last month's meeting was canceled, so
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
we started.
She was going to bring them last month, but we didn't have a meeting.
Okay, that's fine, but did they all come in, did they come in 18? Were they in, was the county invoiced in 18?
Some of them were invoiced in 18.
And where were they, sitting on somebody's desk or underneath the floor, or what?
The clerk did not sign off on them to be sent over to the auditor's office to be paid.
What is the date of the oldest invoice, just?
I don't have that in front of me.
Is it back in November?
It would have been November because they were.
Right after the election?
Advertising for the legals, actually, yeah. Yeah, because in order to advertise the legals, I believe those had to be
So we've
submitted in
We've
October.
got vendors that are 5 and 6 months in the rears.
I guess more importantly, at this point, do we now know that we have identified all of those
Yes.
unpaid invoices from
Everything
last
that
year?
has been submitted. Again, we've got some poll workers that just called and said that they weren't paid from 2018 May election. And we don't know about those things until they tell us.
Jessica, you mentioned $70-some thousand total, and this transfers for $15,000?
Yeah, we've been able to pay out of the funds that we had. These are just the ones that are getting depleted. And, I mean, there's a good chance we'll have to come back for some more fund transfers.
Or additionals, and that's
Or
kind of where I was leading to, is
Right.
we're going to have you in front of us at the end of the year covering all these transfers from the previous administration that failed miserably.
Well, you said we did have some funding in there, that you just depleted it now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm only coming to transfer money from funds that I have accessing currently so that I can pay bills and come one time for an additional appropriation instead of monthly.
Well, let's cut to the chase. We know the prior administration of the clerk's office was less than organized, so we've established that. So the question now is, moving forward, sounds like you've got things in place, you are going to be timely submitting invoices, and she's fixing the problem. Right?
Well, yeah, I'm just, nothing about her, I'm just questioning the vendor submitted an invoice in November.
Probably not happy.
Never made a phone call?
Oh, there were a lot of phone calls.
When did they start?
February-ish.
Okay. All right, I'm done.
All right. All in favor of the 15,000 transfer, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Money is transferred. 144, this is to address the pay increases that we addressed last year, and the commissioners then, for this year, took action at their meeting. And Jessica, you want to talk a little bit about that?
The absentee boards and traveling boards, those, it depended on, I'm guessing, who you were and as to what you were getting paid. We wanted to streamline it and make sure that everybody was paid the same amount. And then as far as the poll worker pay, all of those were in discussion last year. They were carried into discussion in 2019, and the commissioners approved them so that all the poll workers could have their increase.
One question I've got is, I know that you're starting, and you and I have talked about this, you had offered the opportunity for split shift, right? Where instead of being there maybe 16 hours, you know, somebody does 8, somebody does 8. How will they get paid?
Still get half day, and it's only being offered as a pilot program in the clerk position.
Okay. How's that going?
One party chose to take advantage of it, and so we've been able to include a lot more students.
Okay.
And
Are
so
students
far, so
signing up
good.
for the half days?
Absolutely.
Can you explain why one party chose not to participate? Is
One-
there a reason?
One chairman said that they were happy with the additional pay and wanted to only work full shifts.
Isn't that something?
You have enough workers, I've seen in the paper.
Yeah.
Everything going to go smoothly next month?
Yep.
How's it been going so far? Any problems with equipment or anything?
No, no.
Great.
All
Great.
that's smooth. We're bringing the equipment to every training class, so they're able to see it. And of the 3-hour training, an hour of it's spent on equipment. And then they're able to touch it.
No problems with the e-poll book, keeping up with the...
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're balancing the hopper every day, and so everything's going smoothly with the e-poll book.
Good.
Approximate early voting number so far?
Isn't?
Over 500. I want to say probably close to 650 by now.
Oh, that would be good.
Is a lot of
Not very
that coming
good.
out of the Dunlin district for the...
Yep,
school?
Dunlin and Portage are heavy. Fort Hebron, I think, has seen like maybe 20 voters.
Wow.
Okay, any other questions specific to this 144 request?
As we look at the pay increase, and I know it varies by election and how many poll workers and all that sort of thing that you have, but can you give me an approximate how many dollars it's going to cost additionally with these increases?
For the primary, nothing. We have enough to make the primary.
Vicki, why don't you give us a quick shot at that? What's the...
We did an analysis. It was rough at the beginning, but we think that there'll be enough in the appropriation to cover the full year. Of course, it all depends on the number of poll workers, but it sounds like we're going to have a full board. So we're going, for all the precincts. So we're going to do another analysis. But we know that we'll have enough for the primary, maybe even the general.
Okay, so the appropriation is there, but there's still a dollar increase.
Yes.
So I'm asking, what's the dollar?
Right.
I can do
Oh.
that for you. We can run those numbers again.
Well, yeah, it's a dollar increase, but it's a dollar increase not having enough poll workers to having enough poll workers. So there's that part of it, too.
Yeah.
So we have the
Is there-
increase plus that.
Is this comparative to other counties our size? We're getting close to where we should be on...
We're above where we,
We are?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, the other question I've got is when you're doing these half-day things, there's going to be double the workers because there's 2 people for that one shift, but they're both being paid for the training, right? So there's going to be, if we have more half-day people, there's going to be an increase because 2 people are getting paid for training versus the one. I just want to make sure that's,
well, and we're
you know-
also we're back to having an on-call list. So at 5 o'clock, people will report, and then also at 11 o'clock, people will report, and those people will be paid for their training. If we use them, they go out and they get paid as a poll worker. If we don't use them, then they'll be paid a stipend for their time.
They'll be paid what?
A stipend for their time.
Okay.
And that's an advantage to having them trained because we have additional people in the pool then, correct?
It's better to have more than
Train the
hopper. Vicki?
And may I, to follow up with that comment, that is one of the variables that we did not take into account when we did our first analysis, because I don't think it was formulated yet. We also don't know how many poll workers we're going to have on call, so there are some variables. But I will say that when you look at all of these different categories in payroll, that's going to make the poll worker payroll much more complicated than before, because we have different categories now. But I will say that the clerk's office has done a great job working with the auditor's office, getting everything organized to the point that we feel real comfortable that we're going to avoid the problems that we had last year with paying poll workers. And
Well,
we're
that's
gonna
right.
have
So maybe after
payroll problems.
so maybe after the primary, if you're ready at our May meeting, if not, then our June meeting, give us a sort of a detailed analysis of how it went and cost and what your projection for the
We'll probably pay
fall is.
sometime in June,
Okay.
because the last payroll in May is Memorial Day weekend, and we're already.
All right, so at our June meeting, that's good. So at our June meeting, just, that, give us two things, what the hit was for the primary, and then what your projection is for the fall.
I just have one more question. How many, do you have a head count on how many high school students volunteered for this?
No, I don't.
Okay, just wondered.
I'm not sure.
Okay, with that, any other questions? Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
There was a motion, right? On this, we had a
I
motion?
don't think we did.
Motion approved.
Second.
And a second. Thank you. Start that roll call again.
Okay, Councilmember Jessen.
I'm going to stick with yes.
Councilmember
Not changing.
Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
And Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
7-0.
Doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
You are.
Good luck.
Anything that you're encountering that's a stumbling block coming into the primary that you think we need to know, you need help from us, anything like that? Is everything going
No, just,
pretty good?
yeah.
The election board being very helpful. When's the next meeting?
They're the third Thursday at 3 o'clock.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Veterans, additional $390 to maintenance agreements, donations to help cover copier overage. So a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yep.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
And Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you.
Prosecutor, have a good evening.
Thank you, member.
We have a couple of things here with the prosecutor. We've got a reduction, $6,534.50 to returning fugitives. Sheriff is taking over returning fugitive fund to process. And then we've got the user-free pretrial fund, the funding that we need to do to address what we approved at our last meeting. So shall we start with the prosecutor general fund reduction?
Motion approved.
Second.
There was a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
And Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
7-0.
Next is that user fee, the string of additional salaries, FICA, med, and life insurance, and PERF. This is to appropriate for the new employee authorized.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
And Councilmember Paparad?
Yep.
7-0.
That's it.
Is it always this easy?
Yeah, probably not. Always come unprepared, expecting good things.
I've been working on this all day.
Sheriff, we got an additional, that returning fugitives fund. What's your pleasure with that additional, $6,534.50?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yes.
And Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
7-0.
The other additional is $3,400 of maintenance agreements to restore line item, invoice, Q, dash, lots of numbers, reimbursed with check, something by
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion in a couple of seconds. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
And Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
7-0.
Sheriff user fee fund, this is an additional salary FICA perf, jail maintenance difference covered for 2019. I think the 144 addresses the same issue. Mr. Pleasant?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, a couple of seconds. Discussion.
What are you doing here?
I'm, a year or so ago, I had for years, I mean, probably the history of the sheriff's office, we've had a matron, and I had a personnel issue, and to be honest with you, instead of dealing with the position, instead of dealing with the person, I deal with the position, and I eliminated the matron. She's since gone, and I have a new girl who was a sergeant in our jail, basically assuming all the duties that the prior matron did, that we assigned to her. And, you know, it's by statute, I can have a matron. It's obviously, at this point, it's up to you whether you want to give it back to me or not, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking the money out of a different line item to do it right, and then what I'm going to try to do is, in the fall, you know, when you figured out how much money you have in your, to give for raises, these, obviously she wouldn't get a raise, but what I'd like to do is approach you back up and talk about restructuring the jail staff, which we never did. We did the merit of about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's fine. I mean, you guys really did a tremendous job for me on the merit side, but we kind of ignored the jail. And what I want to do, since I've had such a turnover in the jail, since I've been back, I think I've hired almost 90 people in the jail. So from the corporals on up, we haven't. They basically stayed. And what I want to do is approach you and come up with a proposal from the corporals on up, which would, when this is all said and done, it will all work. I think it will be more equitable for the jail staff. So that's kind of what I'm...
You said you hired 90 people? That's
in the
turnover?
jail. In the jail. Yeah, it's turnover mainly because I hire people in the jail, mostly have college degrees. They all have military, most of them military college, and we hire them. I mean, I've hired probably the last 12 people on the merit side have come directly from the jail. Portage hires them from my jail, Michigan City, LaPorte, the state police. I'm the training ground for the region on the merit side, which, you know, the other option would be not to hire the caliber of people that I have been hiring in the jail, but then that's not the right way to do it either. So I understand. I mean, we know there's a lot of training, but I'm also hiring good people.
Vicki, can you tell me what's in that fund? I'm just curious.
Yes, cash balance of $107,737.96.
Did I miss why we're right now, Sheriff, with this?
Well, because
why not?
I couldn't, but I just think it would be easier for me to argue in 6 months of the restructure, and I have the money, so I'm not asking for the money from you. I'm just asking to transfer the money and then come back in a couple months with a proposal for the whole jail staff.
I thought you were required to have
a lot more work than a sergeant position.
Bob,
hold on
a second. Bob?
You're not required to have a matron?
Yes, but
You are, or aren't you?
I'm not. No, I'm not required. I mean, by statute, I'm not in violation of the law by not having one, but the law says I can appoint a matron and appoint a chief, and that's what I can do.
I thought we had to have a matron for the women.
How long have we been without a matron?
Not quite a year, I don't think.
Not quite a year. And it's just, you know, I come in, I see what she does every day, and it's not.
Because the matron, remember, had to be tied to first-class patrolman?
Yes, by salary.
Well, we're tying.
How is that related?
Jail sergeant, right, now, or, no?
No, we're kind
More.
of below
How is the jail sergeant compared to first-class patrolman?
Well, it's about
it's about,
$7,500 difference.
about 14 per year, for a year.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Okay.
14 difference for a year. The 7 we're asking for is because we're going to start this in June.
The jail sergeant makes $14,000 a year less than a first-class patrolman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
14 No, wait a minute.
Yeah,
No, is that right?
Oh, okay,
No, I don't think that much.
that'd be about right. That's about right,
yeah.
What?
because we're doing half.
Well, he's asking jail sergeant or patrol sergeant.
Not a patrol sergeant, a patrol,
Right.
first-class patrol.
So we're giving a raise to the jail matron of $14,000. The person that you've had in there doing the matron's job, we're giving them a $14,000 raise.
Right.
They didn't do very much.
What's your pleasure, guys? Any other thoughts, discussion? Bob, anything more on this?
Well, are we bringing them up to the matrons? Is the sergeant going to become the same pay as the matron?
Yes, well,
Well, she'll become the matron.
by statute,
Oh, so you're going to bring the matron back?
I
Yes.
want to bring the matron back.
He's bringing the position back. That's what's
Okay.
happening.
It's been unfilled right now.
Well, he's kind of had it filled with someone doing the duties, and what he's saying is, now I want to call that person a matron since they're doing all the
Right,
matron's job,
okay.
and I want to pay them appropriately.
Well, don't we have a salary for the matron for this year from last year's budget?
I don't
No.
think we cut it. He took it out.
Because you got rid of the matron last year. Okay.
So we're
What was the salary when they were cut?
Same as first-class patrolman.
No, hold on a minute. What was the salary? So what are we proposing to do here compared to what the matron's salary was before? Is it the same?
No, it's more right now, it's more.
So,
Then
let's
Vicki.
what was it before, Vicki?
I don't have the salary ordinance
Well,
readily available.
without the raise, whatever the raise
Yeah.
is,
That's the only-
It was,
be a 4% less.
yeah, it was.
So she's going to do the duties of the matron, but get paid like a sergeant?
She is now.
She is, just reverse, she is a sergeant, a jail sergeant doing the duties of a matron.
Okay. But the matron's salary has been cut because we cut it last year.
So, but I think the question was, it's one thing to say, I'm putting the matron's position back, so I want to pay this person to be the matron, whatever the matron's salary was, plus 4%, if that's
Right.
correct. It's another thing to say, I want to make this person the matron and give them a raise more than they would have gotten as matron before with a 4% raise. So what we don't, it's one thing for me to say, let's replace the position, pay this lady to do the job that she's doing. It's another thing to say, I want to do that plus give her a raise, out of budget time.
Yeah, how much was the matron making
Right.
versus how much do we want her to make?
Or you think it's the same as with a 4%
Plus
raise?
4%.
Well, no, I believe, and I don't want to say for sure without having the 144 in front of me, I believe it was about 49.5.
Should we table it?
That's without the 4% raise.
49.
But I don't have the 144.
And that's
So-
what it
From
was,
last year.
Edie?
Mm-hmm.
And what?
Well, it
the
was
employees-
before the 4% raise.
Right.
So if we grant this, what will this person be making?
Afterwards,
Yeah.
58.
So substantially more than the previous matron.
Yeah.
That's a big raise.
So it's not the matron's
That's a big raise in the
salary
middle of the year.
plus 4%, it's a-
It's more than that.
Where did you come up with that
Well-
number? Just out of curiosity, is that what they make elsewhere, or is it something?
patrol.
Where did we get this
That's what,
from?
it's by statute, you're supposed to get what the
First-class
Full-class
is.
patrolman, but that was a little too high, so we racked it down a little bit.
Well, I didn't know you had a choice on that.
So you're,
Because you said, wait. You just said you backed it off. You sat here, Sheriff, maybe 10 years ago and told us we had to pay them the exact same. That's the statute.
So let me ask you this question. Sylvia, what were you going to say?
I was kind of going to ask just what he was, mumbling what he was just
That's
asking.
the last time I speak up for you, Syl.
No, I've been told that you had to pay them the same because there was a discrepancy a few years ago.
Exactly.
That's so good this year.
I think what happened probably is because we restructured the patrol,
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about,
that we
no,
should,
no, I'm done.
If I grab this gap.
Sheriff, you sat here, I don't know, 18 years ago and told me that the matron was not being paid the same as the first-class patrolman by law. We have to pay them that. That's what you told us.
You sure?
Yeah, because we questioned it because she was being underpaid. You actually give us the law. This was, I don't know, 2 terms ago.
Do we need to just table this position?
I'm not averse to bringing the matron up. but we're giving, in the middle of the year, that's the rub here.
Now, my specific question would be, what was the matron making before when we had the position versus what we're proposing today? How much of a difference? And I'm not sure we're prepared to answer that specifically.
Well, I think it's the 49,
If it was 49, it was 52,460 with the 4%.
with the 4%,
4%.
yeah. 49.5, I believe it was.
That's what they
It's what
were
it was
making.
last year, yeah.
No, he's saying, 49 plus a 4% raise would have put her at
50.
52.
And here we're
And what are they
proposing,
asking?
58,
okay, so $6,000 more than the previous matron.
right.
But that's per half year.
Well, that's-
Right?
That was total.
So this is just
Well, this is
the
just
remainder of the year.
Yeah, it's just,
So next, it'll be at 12,000, full year,
14.
14,000.
15,
If that helps.
22.
And are the duties dramatically different?
I
Between
think
what they
she's
were
got-
doing versus
I think
what they're
she's
doing now?
got more duties than the previous.
she
Did
does.
the job description change?
The job description didn't change, it's the person we had in there is not capable,
Wasn't doing it.
wasn't doing it enough, and then when she came in now, she's improved all that and working a whole lot harder than the previous one.
I'll make a motion to take it to the 53, 5230,
Yeah, can we,
whatever that number is, 49.5 plus the 4%. Bring whatever's there, and then we'll deal with the rest
There's
of
no
the
other motion on
thing.
the floor.
That's correct.
there is, so I'd have to retract.
There's a motion and a second.
So before you can make your motion, there's a motion and a second on the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, I thought we were, that's right.
No.
Could we repeat
So
that?
we brought
Do you want to withdraw your motion at this time, or amend it, or not neither?
Sheriff, could we amend that to agree to that salary this year and then address the rest, the 4% increase over what they paid, they were paid before? Would that be agreeable?
So you're talking about 52,000 roughly,
Yeah.
whatever that turns out to be.
You
I'd
mean
be
the
wi-
49.5
Plus 4%.
plus the 4%.
Yeah. I'd be
The
wi-
second concur with that amended motion, whoever the second was.
It was down there somewhere.
I don't know.
Can I get a second for that amended motion? Who made this?
Amend it.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, Mike.
Second to amend it.
Okay. So, is that your motion then, Jeff, your amended motion?
If that's agreeable to sheriff, I think that's a reasonable,
We have a
request.
motion and a second. All right, so let's get a roll call.
Okay, Councilmember Graham,
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen,
Yes.
Councilmember Larson,
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad,
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas,
Yes.
Councilmember Sims,
Yes.
and Councilmember Witten,
Yes.
7-0.
We didn't.
And I can verify that also.
Yeah, we'll get to
What
it.
it was, I'll get the accurate amount.
Sounds good.
144
Yeah,
hours.
that sounds good. So we've got Porter County Highway Interdiction Team, 77,000 in motor vehicles, 2 vehicles with lighting, additional 31,000 other equipment, all kinds of cool stuff for the vehicles. What's your pleasure?
I'll make the motion.
On both additionals?
Both additionals.
And a second, discussion. So, to be clear, as we're embarking on these things with Valpo and PD and others, we own the vehicles.
We own the vehicle.
Are they pitching in a percentage, or is there some grant money flowing through them that we can use?
Well, this money's all coming from IDEA, which is coming out of the Attorney General's office, but we're supplying the vehicle, which is in our name.
Okay.
All they're gonna, we'll have an agreement with Portage, mainly Valpo's already got a car, so, but we're putting a camera in the car and a camera on the officer, and then we'll have an agreement on the seizures, how it will be split.
Third, as long as they're in the unit.
Okay.
They can't be out of the unit, one of the other agencies can't be out of the unit and get money still. They have to-
Any other questions or concerns with this? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Jessen,
Yes.
Councilmember Larson,
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad,
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas,
Yes.
Councilmember Sims,
Yes.
Councilmember Witten,
Yes.
Councilmember Graham,
Yes.
7-0.
Can I-
All right, thank you.
I may be
Sure, can I-
back next month for more, he's asking them for more. That might be back next month.
That's all right.
Can I ask you guys a question? These are only 3 departments that have signed on with that. Have you guys, no one else has agreed to it?
Assessor.
They can't.
Assessor. I sent you something.
All right, thanks, you guys. Yep.
We got a transfer of $300.27 from contractual services to office equipment. Peterborough needs updated recording equipment, storage of data.
Move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
What is, $300? What do you need $300 for?
I just told you what it is for.
Really?
Let me try this again. Peterborough needs updated recording equipment and storage of data. The total cost was $3,327, only $3,000 in the line item. Simple math?
Items purchased recommended by our IT.
This was kind of an emergency
Do we have a
situation where, I'm sorry, am I not supposed to? I'm not sure the rules.
It's a motion in a second, right?
Yeah.
Do I have the floor?
You always have the floor. You have the floor, Councilman Rivas.
I appreciate
You
that.
spent a lot of time on this $300?
I may.
Go on.
So we had a camera that, for Peterborough that we used, that broke, so.
You guys see how this is important now, Peterborough, right, cameras?
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, no, we're good.
So the IT, so we talked to IT about replacing it and with some good quality, and then we eat up a lot of memory because of our last sets of recordings that we have to keep indefinitely. We can't destroy these because they're not transcribed.
You do or IT keeps it? I guess I'm just wondering
We
what
keep it
IT
internal, but it's using IT's servers, and so we had to buy an additional, something called a NAS box to store this separately from the server, if I'm explaining that right. So it was expensive. And what I did was, went over the $3,000, and in fact, I'm going to have to come back because this wiped out my line for the whole year, obviously, this purchase that we had. And so we have to buy cameras for our field agents, things like that. So I'm going to have to come back, but I just wanted to get this IT thing cleared out first.
Well, Dan added a room onto his house so you can assess.
Dan did?
No, he didn't. Dan doesn't do home improvements.
Maybe that's right, will you?
All right, so we have a transfer motion and second on the floor. Any other questions? Did you get your
I
answer?
think I'm covered.
You covered, you good? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, John.
That's it, right? That's it?
See you next month, I guess?
Something like that.
Let's get to the parks. We have got additional $22,365 other equipment mower and RTV purchase. We got parks operating, additional $3,307.50, appropriation for legal services. And then we got the EDU center, additional $216,000 in contractual services. Let's start with the additional $22,365 for the mower and RTV purchase. What's your pleasure?
Why are we coming for an additional out of general fund this?
So, and Vicki, stop me if I get the timeline wrong, because this is going back, unfortunately, 2018 again. Thanks, Bob. We had attempted to pay for the purchase out of our maintenance and repair line item. Once we submitted the voucher, we found out that it needed to be coming out of a different line item, and by the time we resubmitted it, it was past the time that we could pay the 2018 bills.
Was that back in November, fall, or December?
Yeah, November or December, correct.
Yeah.
So we have the mower
Correct,
and the RTV.
correct.
When did we get those things?
We took possession of them by the end of the year, I believe.
Exactly when it's when.
Vicki, do you have anything to add to this, or is that pretty much explained? Okay, any other questions?
Are we just looking at the one item?
We're just looking
Yeah.
at this one. You have a question, Bob?
We're gonna do one item at a time, right?
That's all that's on the floor right now, the first one. Any other questions about this mower that we've had not paid for 4 months?
Yeah, we better pay for it.
This free mower.
Whoever supplied it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Larson?
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sims?
Yes.
Councilmember Witten?
Yes.
Councilmember Graham?
Yes.
And Councilmember Jessen?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, Parks Operating Fund, additional $3,307.50 appropriation for legal services. What's your pleasure?
Did we win?
Ongoing matter.
Can I get a motion? So moved. We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Discussion.
You want to explain that a little bit, Walter?
Sure, to the extent that I can, the park board is engaged in ongoing litigation due to an incident at the park with one of our partners a couple of years ago. The park board elected, I believe it was in 2017, to bifurcate the defense from our partner. That kicked in what is generally referred to as the extraordinary clause in the contract with our attorney, so then he bills the park board at the hourly rate that's stipulated in the contract. So I've asked them to...
What do you have in that line item?
Nothing right now. This is dipping into my contingency fund for the year. But, you know, this...
What do you budget for contractual attorney a year? Like, what's...
So on an annual basis, we have a contract with Blatchley, Tabor, Bozick, and Hartman that gets agreed upon prior to the year. So I think this year in the general fund, it's like $13,000, maybe somewhere around about $12,000 something. When I presented this to the park board, I asked specifically that we get billed on no less than a quarterly basis. What I don't want to have happen is we get to November and there's some $15,000, $20,000 bill. So this represents January through March. I asked the park board to contemplate how they wanted to do this. We could, of course, ask for an additional out of the general fund, but we do have contingency in our non-reverting, so their pleasure was to take that route, thus me being here tonight.
So these are legal fees from January to March?
Correct.
On a park board matter that our attorneys, park board's attorneys handling?
Correct.
Over and above what they normally would do for the park?
Correct.
Okay. Mom was right, I should have become an attorney. Can I get a roll call?
Councilmember Paparad.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivas.
No.
Okay.
I gotta pick one every meeting.
Councilmember
But it's
Sutton.
always me.
Is it always?
It's always me.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Justin.
Yes.
And Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
6-1.
Parks,
Fair enough.
RCD Center, additional $216,041 to contractual services, design, engineer, construction of Horton's Children's Education Center at Sunset Hill Farm, County Park.
I'll make the motion to get the discussion.
Second.
Motion to approve with a second. Discussion.
Is that a hard number? Do you have firm numbers on this?
That's what we have currently
No, that's what
sitting
we
in
have.
the fund.
Right.
No, I anticipate there's going to be additional money that the foundation is going to be handing over to the park board, and then after that, there'll be additional appropriations that we'll be requesting. Now, we're hoping that we get to the point now that once the building is finished, there'll be other things that we want to do to the AV, wireless, things, some signage on the building, so those will be additional appropriations coming later. But yeah, we're like...
Do you have any idea on cost, total cost?
Well, the do not exceed contract is for $470,000. Between the land and water grant, which was $200,000, and the funding that the foundation raised, we are over that amount. So we have funding beyond what we expect the total cost to be.
For the building and everything?
Correct. Yep, absolutely.
Any other questions, Bob?
How was the construction? Did it come in under budget, or is it so far?
So far, so good. We had our first change orders at the end of the year, but that was at our request. We had the opportunity to connect the old farmhouse and the maintenance garage to the sewer system. So the park board took that out of the remaining funds that we had from 2018. The park board is going to discuss tomorrow night. We finally, I'm surprised it took this long, quite frankly, we found bad soil that needs to be remedied in relation to the parking lot. So there's a change order that they just received last week to try to fix that. But again, the excess that we raised is in excess of what the cost of that should be, and we're, 90% completion of the building at this point.
Has that park board bill been signed into law, do you know yet? The one that changes the makeup of the park?
I do not know. The last update that I got is that it passed the House, but that was like a month ago.
I only ask because if that does find its way into law, we have to take action on that.
Yeah, for two members, right?
One, we maintain our two, I think the commissioners then get two, and the fifth one is up to us.
I got it.
That's next year, though.
I think there's a time period we got to do it in. So, I think. All right, any other questions on this particular topic? None? Roll call.
Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
Councilmember Sims.
Yes.
Councilmember Witten.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Jessen.
Yes.
Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
And Councilmember Paparad.
Yes.
7-0.
Thank you, appreciate
Good
it.
night. Yep.
He won't.
Plan Commission, we have a Cume Bridge Fund transfer, $1,000, another $1,000, and a Plan Commission Fund transfer, $400.
Motion.
We have a motion. I'll second.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this? They're all pretty mundane and straightforward. All in favor on the three transfers, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Transfers are approved.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Is it your office that's getting tinted windows?
Linton?
Well, actually, they're not tinted, they're kind of like frosted, so you can't see in the back, or in the medium term.
Wow. Motor vehicle, highway fund transfer of $225,000 from bituminous to aggregate for purchase of aggregates for our chip and seal program.
Thank you.
What's your pleasure with this one?
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion and a second. He's gone. Okay. What questions do you have of this request? Let's start with that. Any?
No questions, but I really want to commend you, Rick, for the job you're doing.
Thank you.
Very transparent, giving us a lot of information.
Well, we'll keep up the reports. It's no problem.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good.
I kind of just explained the chip and seal why. I'll just explain to it anyway, because some people think, you're taking away from paving. Well, we're really not, because we originally did the budget back in June. We didn't know we were going to get our own chip and seal equipment, so we kind of left the aggregate budget alone. With this transfer, we'll be doing 50-plus miles of chip and seal this year, and last year we did 26. So we're going to double that, and as you can see from we have a very good coverage from the map that I've given you all the roads made some kind of preservation. So about 120 miles or so total preservation this year.
All right, that's great.
Very good point. My neighborhood's good.
Yeah, we use it at the Expo Center Monday morning. We probably will use it next week sometime. I'll update you guys on Friday. But, we're going to we'll be up north, we found a bunch of, when I took over, we found a bunch of roads at the DNR where we thought we didn't have the roads past their signs. Well, it turned out that we had a bunch of DNR roads that are ours that, we've gone through both sides, engineers, and everything points to them being our roads, so we'll be up on Haydenfeld, Vidine, Tremont, using it up there too, so.
Any other questions on this stuff, guys?
It's Portage Township. There in the north.
Take care of you.
Blank spot.
Yeah.
All in favor of the transfer, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Thanks
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. Keep up the good work, for sure.
ITS General Fund transfer $20,704.92 from data processing equipment to maintenance agreements, Microsoft operating system. You have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Pretty straightforward. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You did, Mr. General. A second reading, please. Sure.
Whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the annual budget, therefore be it resolved by the Porter County Council of Porter County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. General Fund, a total of $25,765. Parks Operating Fund, $3,307.50. County User Fee pre-trial, $46,722. County User Fee Sheriff, up to $8,928. Veterans Donation Fund, $390. Memorial Opera House Management Fund, $38,120.04. Parks Education Center, $260,041. And Sheriff Highway Interdiction Fund, $108,000. Next, please.
What's your pleasure with second reading?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion, is there a second? And a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sims.
Yes.
Councilmember Litton.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Justin.
Yes.
Councilmember Larson.
Yes.
Councilmember Paparad.
Yep.
And Councilmember Rivas.
Yes.
7-0.
Attorney's report, we don't have any, our attorney had a call, he had to go get his kid unexpectedly, so. Then we've got any other matter that may come properly before the council. Before we get into soil and water presentation, real quick, one thing that I wanted to bring up, which is probably buried in your packet somewhere, we placed into our, when we anticipated the moving of the 4D building, we placed into our county council budget roughly $90,000, I think, Vicki, to pay for the remodeling cost of moving 4D over to the old jail building. And I've been presented with a bill to, actually, we have the funds, it doesn't require anything, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what we were doing before I signed off on this invoice. It looks like between Gary F. Construction, which was about $79,024, and Larry Miller Door and Glass, which is another $1,695. That takes us just a little bit north of $81,000, $82,000. I think we had $90,600.
Yes.
So.
Don't need any.
So we don't need to take any action. I just want to let you, before I sign off on that kind of invoice, I wanted you guys to understand what we're doing. Any questions about that? I think we anticipated it, so. All right, awesome. And then soil and water, brief presentation. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having us this evening. I'm Michelle Benson, for those of you that are new to the council. I'm the administrator educator for the Soil and Water Office, and I'm not here to ask for any money because I promised you last fall I wouldn't be back to ask for any money. And so tonight, our Vice Chairman, Keith Gustafson, unpaid supervisor, is going to take the lead and share a little bit of our annual report. You have a copy in front of you so that you can kind of follow along.
Thank you. I've been on the board for about 30 years, and at this time, we've got the best group to work with that we've ever had. There's more farmers coming into the office, there's more kids being addressed at the school level that Michelle visits. It's between 9,000 and 10,000 a year. She even gets farmers from the community to work with about 1,500 kids in the second grade, and has a nice program that they can plant seeds and visualize the difference what soybean oil does to cocoa and so forth, and it's amazing how sharp these second graders are. Our office consists of 3 different departments. We have a federal agency, and the federal agency has one part-time employee. He shares his time with Porter County and Lake County, and they pay for our telephone, they pay for our computer, they pay for our rent, and so forth. So Soil and Water or Porter County has no expense when it comes to that. A number of years ago, they decided they wanted to charge the Soil and Water something, and that has since left the arena at this time. And so this last year, being 2018, the programs that the federal government had in Porter County brought $579,125 back to Porter County in taxes that were paid to the federal government. And that consists of a number of projects. The biggest one is EQIP, which farmers participate in, and they also pay. It's not this isn't a 100% program for the landowners, it's a shared program. And it goes clear down to the fact if some people need help with invasive species in woods and things like this. And our board consists of 5 supervisors, and then we have associate supervisors, and then we have 2 office staff. Michelle has been there since the early 2000s, and this last year we hired a new fellow by the name of Jared O'Brien, and he took Harvey Nix's place, and it's a world of difference. As Michelle said, we won the award for a water testing program in 2016. We were able to join forces with the Department of Interior, the National Park Service, Indiana Dunes National Lake Shore, and the United States Geological Survey to test water in the East Branch of the Little Calumet River. The reason that we wanted to test the water was in 2012, we attended a meeting that was run by the State Association that said that there was an issue with E. coli in the Little Calumet River, and it was caused by livestock, primarily cattle. And with the encouragement of a farmer in the county, we started looking for someone to test water. And we finally got the National Park Service to help us out. And in the 3 years that they have helped us, we have paid $22,744.74 in supplies and in labor. And the time that the Park Department put into the program amounted to about $264,000. And the findings, the biggest finding that they found was there was E. coli, and when the U.S. Geological Survey got involved in it, they could tell what species the E. coli came from, and it is coming from failed septic systems. And when we were notified of getting this award, they wanted to have a meeting from the State Association up here in Porter County. And so Michelle got us an opportunity to have the meeting on Lake Michigan at the Riverwalk. And at that meeting, just like you folks get our invitations to all the meetings, we invited the state representatives and senators and so forth. And Mike Ellsworth came to the meeting. And after hearing what was found in the report, he has since introduced a bill at the state level that each county, before a property is sold, the septic tank has to be inspected. Now, LaPorte County has this, and Marshall County has inspection before the final sale, just like you would a home inspection and so forth. And at the county level, they've had some hiccups, and there's been some issues on finding people to do the inspections and so forth. And so that encouraged Mike to take a lead and get something passed at the state level. And in addition to helping those counties out, it's going to help counties like Porter County out, because you folks are not going to have to come up with the rules and regulations. It's going to be a federal mandate.
We'll just have to come up with the money.
No, it'll be on Friday.
Yeah.
When you guys did the test on the Little Cow, were you upstream from the treatment plants, or were you guys downstream?
The first year they started over in water that came from LaPorte County, and started basically at the top, and then just went down. And then each year they have refined it to the point of what they have found, and then they have made it so it's more applicable to the situation. And now, like, since we've already found the E. coli and found out what it was, we're not going to run that test this year. But we are going to start running tests for the south part of the county. And Jared has been working with the Park Service to get the training on the collection, and then we have a party that works for the Indiana State Department of Agriculture, and she's going to work with it. And we're going to hire some interns from the university. Jared has gone and presented a program or two there and has informed them that there might be an opportunity for an internship. And so we're going to work through and get some interns to help run those programs. And then you'll see the Natural Resource Conservation Service, how that has been taken care of. We've had a number of field days to encourage farmers to no-till and plant cover crops. And we were told in one of our meetings that if every farm was farmed as a no-till farm and had cover crops, that you wouldn't have much need for your stormwater department.
Have they been very receptive to like leaving a buffer between the water flow areas?
No. Unfortunately, it's just like you, it's hard for them to change. And we've had a lot of programs and so forth, and there's always a reason not to change.
Something we're still trying to push, though.
Yeah.
We haven't given up.
I gotta stop asking, Dan wants to speed the process.
Let's try holding our questions. I'm just kidding.
And then we've been told that eventually that probably over 75% of the farms will have ladies in charge of them, have something to do with it. And so Michelle has started a program to invite the lady owners of property in Porter County, and she has had one program, and that was involved with birds, and then she had a past NRCS employee, retired employee, come and give a presentation. And then she'll tell you about what she's got for this year coming up.
Oh, okay, I didn't know I was going to speak, but the reason we decided to do that is a lot of women are widowed, and they're left with this huge amount of property. They have no idea what to do with it. They're thinking, oh, I'll just go ahead and sell it. And we can help them manage that. There are a lot of wonderful federal programs that provide cost share, help with the taxes at the state level. There are state programs for that. So we're just trying to inform them, and it's kind of in a relaxed environment. Women, I think, feel more comfortable when we're just having kind of a nice, relaxed conversation. We have a little program that this year it's going to be on wildflowers. It'll be July 31st. If any of you have friends that would like to attend, just give us a ring at the office.
And some of the other programs that they've done is that, for the soil health, they've taken and buried clothing in the ground, and they've left it there for a period of time, and then they've dug it up to see just what kind of activity there's going on in the ground that would destroy or use up part of the clothing. And there's been times that if you've got no-till and you've got cover crops, and if you have a variety of cover crops, a number of different species of grasses and legumes and brassicas and so forth, you'll have a lot more deterioration of that cloth. And then this year, we've had some people that felt that they shouldn't be no-tilling because the soil in the spring would not warm up as quick as the soil that has been worked in the fall and doesn't have a cover crop on it. And so Jared worked on a program to where there's temperature sensors you can bury, and you can, it'll read for well over 6 months, and they've already pulled some of them, and they've found that there's hardly any difference between soil that has been, that has a cover crop on it and hasn't been tilled as compared to soil that has been. But we've got soils that have not been worked for over 25 years that are in this program, and so we should have a pretty good idea, and that'll give people a little more comfort in trying some of these programs. And then we've talked a little bit about Michelle in the school. It's just a wonderful program. The teachers, they contact her, and she might have to turn some of them down in a year because she doesn't have enough time to get all that done. We've also participated in what they've called infield advantage. What that is, that they'll come out after the corn has germinated and grown to the point of tasseling, and the ear has formed, and it reaches black layer. They'll come out and they'll take samples of the corn stalk, and then that will go to a lab, and in that results that they get, they can tell if people have excess nitrogen in their soils, and so it's pretty valuable, and it's something that every farmer pays for, because when a farmer sells a bushel of corn, he has a checkoff, and the checkoff people are paying for this analysis. And then we have our own cover crop program just through the Porter County Soil and Water Conservation District. We will pay 50% up to $580 of cost, seed cost, for cover crops, and we've in the last year we had $3,862 spent on 600 acres, and a lot of the people that participate in this program will put in a lot more acres of cover crops than what the $580 covers. They figure with the programs that we have participated here in Porter County that it's kept 285 dump trucks, 10 yards quantity, away from being in the ditches and in the drainage systems. And it has saved on both phosphorus and nitrogen, too, because there isn't the erosion that has gone on. We also have tree sales, and this last year our tree sale was not nearly as big because the Expo Center was being renovated, and we always had the tree sale when they had the garage sale, and we tried it on Earth Day, and when the people come for Earth Day, they're looking for free stuff. They're not wanting to buy trees, but when they go to the garage sale, they're expecting to spend some money.
Birthday was also my birthday. My birthday.
And then we're...
National holiday.
We might throw something together next year. My birthday is Earth Day.
Well, it'll be the 50th anniversary of Earth Day next year.
Also my 50th anniversary.
Uh-oh.
Of being 4 years old.
Double celebration.
And our office also has other federal agencies in it, in the same building. And a few years ago, Michelle started an affiliate membership program, and these people that are listed on this will donate money to us, and that money will go into the programs such as the education, because every time Michelle goes to the farm program, she makes sure that the kids get something. And so that pays for that. And then she's also worked with a joint venture of the Porter County Farm Bureau Incorporated. They also have an educational program, but Michelle has done all the groundwork of getting into the schools, and so then Farm Bureau comes and helps her put on the program. So it's a nice joint venture that we have there. And then we've got a funding source where 42% of the money that we get for just the Porter County Soil and Water Conservation District comes from the county, and most of that is wages and so forth. And then we self-fund it through our affiliate members and so forth. And then the state, we get about 26% from the state. And in the last few years, we have accumulated a few extra dollars, and that's why we're able to put our water system and testing down south in Porter County. And it's just been a pleasure to be on the board. And they're a group to look up to.
Awesome. All right, well, that's great. Anybody have any questions about this?
No, but I have
Good work, thank you for coming.
Come on,
Sylvia.
Sylvia, she's right here in this flyer. Yeah, she got her name in the flyer.
Well done, Syl.
We just want to say we appreciate that Sylvia attends as many events as possible. She's a magnificent liaison, and I remember the days before they had the liaison program, and it was very difficult to make contact with the council members, so we appreciate that that's been put in place. It helps a little department like ours.
I came up
So
with that
thank you.
idea. Very good.
Well, that's an excellent idea, and I tell everybody that from other counties. We meet with the other 91 counties in Indiana, and I always say that's a magnificent system you need to implement.
Well, you guys are very dedicated.
Communication's the key.
Yeah, it is, it really is. Would it be okay to take a photo at the end of the council with Keith and this plaque?
That'd be awesome. That would
Okay,
be great.
appreciate it.
So,
I thought, well, probably just Sylvia, she's the only one listed in the brochure.
That's right. So, that's great. Thank you very much for the presentation. That's wonderful. That having been said, I think that pretty much, any other matter that may come probably before the council? None?
Yes.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. Go on.
A new facilities director, apparently, that we have, that we've never met. Yeah. And you guys want to come up, introduce yourself?
No, you can just say who you are. You want to address us, or just tell us who you are?
My name is Ray Floyd. I'm the new facilities director. This is my administration assistant, Tracy Wood.
Great. Hey, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
The meetings are always fun and exciting, so feel free to come, and all of them, if you have like no life whatsoever. Okay. Anything else, Jeremy? You just don't want to leave us.
That's about it.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn. You got it. All in favor? Aye. All right, so, let's get a couple of...